The galaxy locked the monster away. Humans asked, "Can we adopt it?" The Galactic Council had taken 300 years to build the Veil Prison. It floated in the dead space between galaxies, a crystalline structure the size of a small moon, designed by the combined efforts of 12 different species. Each race had contributed their most advanced containment technology, their deepest understanding of dimensional barriers, and their most fervent prayers that the thing inside would never ever escape. The Keth Mori had woven psychic dampeners into the very atoms of the walls. The Zilani had infused the structure with temporal locks that would reset any escape attempt to its beginning state. The ancient Vorthak had inscribed containment runes in mathematics so complex that most species couldn't even pronounce the equations properly, all to keep one creature locked away. The Devourer of Suns, they called it in the official records. The nightmare made flesh. The thing that should not be. It had consumed 3 star systems before the galaxy's greatest minds had found a way to trap it. Entire civilizations had been reduced to cosmic dust in its wake. The survivors still woke, screaming from dreams of its approach, which is why Ambassador Talak of the Keth Mori nearly had a psychic aneurysm when the humans submitted their formal request. "You want to what?" Talak's mental voice crackled with disbelief across the council chamber. Captain Sarah Chen, humanity's representative, smiled that peculiar human expression that somehow managed to be both reassuring and deeply unsettling. "We'd like to adopt it. The creature in the Veil Prison. Our xenobiologists believe it might just be misunderstood." The silence that followed was so profound that several species began checking if their universal translators had malfunctioned. Chancellor, Vexthara of the Zilani Empire was the first to recover. "Captain Chen, I want to make absolutely certain I understand your request. You wish to take custody of the most dangerous entity in known galactic history?" "Well, when you put it like that, it sounds a bit dramatic," Chen replied, pulling up a holographic display. "But look at these behavioral analysis reports our team compiled. Dr. Rodriguez here spent 2 years studying the historical records." A smaller human stepped forward, adjusting what appeared to be some kind of optical enhancement device. "The patterns are fascinating, really. Every attack followed the same sequence. The entity would approach a populated system, emit specific energy signatures that we initially interpreted as aggressive posturing, and then, well, yes, there was considerable destruction. But what if we've been reading the signals wrong?" "Wrong?" The Vorthak representative's voice box translated its incredulous harmonics into something resembling a mechanical wheeze. "It devoured the Helix Nebula." "Right, but consider this," Dr. Rodriguez continued, his excitement palpable. "Every single system it approached had been broadcasting distress signals for decades. The Corelli system was facing ecological collapse. The binary worlds were in the middle of a genocidal civil war. The Helix Nebula was already dying from stellar parasites. Your point being?" Talak's mental probe carried the weight of barely contained horror. "Maybe it wasn't attacking," Chen said quietly. "Maybe it was trying to help." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of outraged clicking, psychic static, and harmonic discord. It took several minutes for order to be restored. "Humans," Chancellor Vexithera said slowly, "your species has a reputation for unusual perspectives, but this suggestion borders on insanity. The creature killed trillions." "Sometimes," Chen replied, "the cure looks worse than the disease to those who don't understand it. We've seen similar patterns in Earth's history. Natural processes that seem destructive but were actually part of larger cycles of renewal and healing." She gestured to the holographic display, which now showed complex energy pattern analyses. "Look at what happened after each incident. Where the creature passed, subspace showed increased stability. Quantum fluctuations normalized, and in 2 cases we detected the beginnings of new stellar formation in the affected regions." "You're suggesting," Talak said, his mental voice barely above a whisper, "that it was gardening?" "We prefer cosmic veterinary medicine," Dr. Rodriguez said cheerfully. "Think about it. A being that feeds on diseased stellar material and broken quantum structures. It might have evolved specifically to clean up cosmic problems that other species can't even detect, let alone solve. The Vorthak representative made a sound like grinding metal. And if you're wrong? If you release this thing and it devours Sol? Chen's smile turned sharp. Then we'll deal with it the way humans always deal with problems, together, loudly, and with an unreasonable amount of stubbornness. The human government has authorized us to share our preliminary proposals, Dr. Rodriguez added, pulling up another display. We've designed a graduated contact protocol, starting with basic communication attempts through the prison barriers, then limited physical interaction under controlled conditions. You've already begun this process, haven't you? Chancellor Vexathera's voice carried a note of dawning horror. Well, Chen said, we might have sent a probe with some simple mathematical sequences last month, and possibly some music. Humans are big on music as a universal language. The creature responded, Dr. Rodriguez said, unable to contain his excitement. Not with violence, but with what appeared to be an attempt at communication. It replicated our mathematical sequences and then, well, it seemed to try to improve them. Talak's psychic presence went very still. Improve them how? It solved 3 millennium problems that our best mathematicians had been working on, Chen said casually. Turned out the solutions were embedded in harmonic frequencies that match healthy stellar core oscillations. The chamber fell silent again. Finally, the ancient Vorthak representative spoke, its voice box producing sounds like grinding stone. In the old texts, before the Great Forgetting, there are references to shepherds, beings that tended the spaces between spaces, the gaps where reality grows thin. You think this creature might be one of these shepherds? Chancellor Vexathera asked. I think, Chen said, that 300 years ago, the galaxy panicked and locked up the cosmic equivalent of a stray dog that was trying to help. And now humans want to do what humans do best, which is? Chen's grin was pure human audacity. Take in strays, give them proper names, and teach them that not every problem requires eating an entire solar system to fix. The vote, when it finally came, was closer than anyone expected. But in the end, the galaxy decided to trust the species that had once domesticated wolves, turned them into companions, and then somehow convinced them to wear tiny sweaters. After all, if anyone could teach a cosmic horror proper table manners, it would probably be the humans.